So now we're going to populate records from a database. Before the doc type definition opening and closing PHP tag, we start with try, and then we have catch with the exception, and we're going to have it as E, and then echo, there was a problem with the database. Just a simple message. If obviously the first try statement hasn't been executed successfully for any reason. We create object DB, which is a new PDO class, and then we go for MySQL because we're using MySQL. Host will equal local host. Then we have a semicolon DB name, which will be books in my case. Then after comma we have a username for the MySQL database, root, and a password for MySQL database, which in my case is simply password. So that's our connection instance of our database. Then we have objjdb, and we execute first statement, which will simply set character set to UTF-8. And then we go for our SQL statement, which will be select all from books, order by, title, ascending. Now that we have our statement ready, we can obviously execute it. So statement equals objjdb query SQL, and then obviously we want to get the results. So results statement fetch all, and we're going to put the constant PDO fetch underscore sock, and that's it. So now we have our results array ready to put into our database, our table. So after the opening T body tag, we first check if PHP if is an empty results, and after our closing TR, we close this statement with another curly bracket. And if it isn't empty, then we're going to do the loop for each results as row. And again, we're going to close it after the closing TR tag. So this is our loop. We should indent it as well. Okay, the first one, obviously we're using row. Echo row, we want title of the book. If I copy this, second one is an author, so author. Third one is a category. Then we have remove, I'm going to put it on a new line, remove, and we want ID here. The same with the ID of the record, remove underscore ID, and the value will also have the ID of the record. So that's all fine, but now obviously if there are no records, we want to display the message. So after the second closing bracket, which is referring to our if is an empty statement, else, and then we close it again to close the entire if else statement. Else we're going to create a table row with one table cell TD with a call span of 4 to stretch over 4 columns, and the message will be there are currently no records available. And that's it. So now if we save the page, go back to our browser, refresh, we've got some error, unexpected question mark, checkable index on line 70. So if we go back, line 70, of course, I didn't close the PHP tag here. Okay, if we save it, go back, refresh, here are our records ready to be processed. Obviously, if we check on the checkbox, it doesn't select anything yet apart from itself. So let's move to the next video when we're actually creating a JavaScript file, our core.js, when we actually put in the code to make sure that obviously we're selecting all these checkboxes when we click on the main one in a heading.